You see that highlight though? Let's get a closer look.
Look at this highlight. Look at this highlight.
This
highlight on fleek. Hi beauties, welcome back to Esdeja Beauty TV. So for today's video, I'll be doing a first impressions on the new Carli Bybel Deluxe Edition palette collaboration with BH Cosmetics. For those of you that don't know who Carli Bybel is, she is a big YouTuber. I've been a huge fan of Carli Bybel since like 2010. She was one of the very first YouTubers that I discovered on YouTube, and she also inspired me to get more creative with makeup because I've always been into makeup. I started my channel last year in May. It's going to be a year soon, and it was thanks to her. So thank you, Carli. It looks like this, and I just love how the packaging is like marble. These are all the pretty colors and highlighters. There's 21 eyeshadows and 6 highlighters. These colors are really pigmented and creamy. I'm probably going to be reaching for it a lot because it's definitely an everyday palette. It has like your neutral shades, and then it also has like your pinks and your mauves. And then of course you have these beautiful highlighters, mattes and shimmers, so that's also a plus. And I'm so happy that she released this palette because I never got a chance to get the first one, and I'm actually not upset anymore because this one seems a lot better and there's definitely more colors to choose from. And the best part about this palette right here is that it was only 20 bucks.
You can't beat that.
This is definitely a must-have palette. So before we go ahead and get started, please hit that subscribe button as well as give this video a big thumbs up, and follow me on Instagram, on Snapchat. I'll link everything down below. I'm always shopping things. So as you can see, I already have my base. I have foundation on, and I did my eyebrows, and I actually primed my eyelids. And now I'm just going to go in with this No.7 Translucent powder, and we're just going to set the concealer. I'm just setting my eyelids. The first color I'm going to dig into is this shade here. It's like a nice transition color. I'm gonna tap off that excess. We're gonna apply this color into our crease. So the pigment on these are really good from what I can see, but it does have some fallout. But I mean, that's to be expected with most eyeshadows. And on to the other side. And I'm using the Luxie 235 blending brush. I really love Luxie brushes because one, they're really good, and two, they're affordable, and who doesn't like quality affordable brushes, you know? So you check them out. I would definitely link everything that I use in the description box, so be sure to check that out. I'm going to be taking this shade right here. It's like a nice pearlescent pink. I'm just gonna apply that to my lids. I'm just gonna put this all over. Such a pretty color. So I'm gonna use a mini tapered brush. This is the 121 mini tapered brush by Luxie Beauty, and I'm just going to take this color right here and tap off the excess, and we're just going to deepen up our crease. Just bringing it in halfway into our crease. Now I'm going to go back in with the Luxie 213 shading brush. Just go back into this color here. Just place some more. Like that. So next I'm going to take this bone color here. I'm using a small tapered blending brush. This is the 231 small tapered blending brush. I'm just going to highlight our brow bone, just like that. The 235 blending brush. I'm just gonna blend it together.
No harsh lines over here.
My favorite concealer, Tarte Shape Tape. I'm just going to highlight. Taking a beauty blender, and we're just gonna blend it all in. My favorite drugstore concealer, the Master Conceal by Maybelline. I like to layer this on top just because it's more creamy and it's more hydrating under the eyes. And this concealer is actually a shade lighter than my Tarte Shape Tape, so that's why I also like to add that on top to make my under eyes really pop. I'm just gonna set under the eyes. I'm just gonna dust it off. For contour, I'm gonna be using Wet n Wild's contour stick. So, for those of you who follow me on Snapchat know that I spent last week in Trinidad. And if you aren't following me on Snapchat,
What are you doing?
unfortunately Eric's great aunt passed away. So that's why we had to fly out to Trinidad for the funeral. And yeah, and while we were there, I got to meet his Trinidadian side of the family, because up here I know his mother's side of the family, so that was his dad's side of the family. And they were really so nice to me because they knew it was my first time in Trinidad. So they went out of their way to show me around town and where Eric grew up and everything like that. And it was just really nice. Like, I appreciate everything. And then the food, I've never tasted anything better. Yeah, I really enjoyed being in Trinidad. It was really nice, you know, to have a change of scenery, even though the circumstance wasn't really ideal for it. But it was really relaxing at the same time. And I am so happy that I got to visit my husband's birthplace. You know, he was happy as well because he hasn't been back since 2001. So it was really nice. We had a good time. I've never seen a more beautiful funeral. Like, all the funerals that I've been to prior to this one have always been so sad. And, you know, I always hated funerals, you know, so because of that reason, I always hated funerals. I'm like, why am I going to, you know, a funeral when everybody around me is crying, you know, and I don't like to cry, so so I always would avoid it. The last funeral I've been to previously, before this one, from my side of the family, was in 2014 when my grandmother passed away. If I can avoid it, I would, because I just don't, it makes me uncomfortable, like this situation, you know, so I would just always try to avoid it. But this time, this funeral, it was more like a celebration of her life. She lived a very long life. She was gonna be 100 years old in 2 weeks, so 99 and a half. That's a very long time, you know, to be living. And the funeral was just so beautiful. I took some really nice pictures and we got to see some beautiful beaches and things like that. It was just really nice. Alright, so now back to this. I'm going to go back in with Wet n Wild's contour palette, set the cream contour. I also did get my hair braided at Body Beautiful in Trinidad. Yeah, it was just a nice experience. The owner was really nice to us, and my stylist, she did a good job, so thank you. So now I'm just gonna finish up the eyes. I'm just gonna take Luxie 217 pencil brush. I'm gonna take this brown shade again, and I'm just gonna place that on our lash line. Oh, and the only negative thing I have to say about Trinidad is that the mosquitoes are vicious. Like, I literally
got attacked by them.
And, you know, it was okay when I was there, but when I came back home, that's when they started welting up and just really started itching. Let me show you guys. This one right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. Look. Right here. I have these right here. I even have a mosquito bite underneath my big toe.
Mosquito bite, it's not even funny, like.
It was just so annoying. That's the only negative thing, but everything else, down to the food, the weather, it was just really nice. Alright, so now we're gonna go back into this color here, And we're going to place that on our lower lash line as well. Okay, so I did my wings off camera, and now I'm just gonna go in with some mascara. This is the Better Than Sex. Back to my face, and I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani blush palette, and I think I'm gonna go in with this pink shade here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna pop on some lashes. So of course I'm using my Icon lashes. For lips, I'm gonna use the NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick in French Maid. Moving on to highlight, because we can't forget about our highlight now. I'm going to take this shade right here and this shade right here, this pink, my e.l.f. blush brush. Yeah, these highlighters are really pigmented.
Who doesn't love to glow?
You know, go crazy with it. Like that. And then we're also going to use these two shades again for our inner corners.
New hair, who this? New hair, who this?